Hey guys, if you're anything like me, you're probably not a morning person, but I'm going to give you guys a morning routine that will make it just a little bit easier to be a morning person. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Eli and I'm a decathlete at the University of South Carolina, and on this channel we like to find new and innovative ways to become the best versions of ourselves. Now, if you are interested in becoming more productive as a human being, an athlete, a student, then follow along because we're gonna have a great video for you today. Let's get into the video. So my morning generally gets started at 7 a.m. My alarm clock goes off and I get up at 7 a.m. depending on the day. Some days I'll get up a little bit later if I had a really heavy workout, just because it's really important for your central nervous system to recover as an athlete. But for the most part, you should be waking up at about 7 a.m. or maybe a little bit earlier depending on what your day calls for. So my important step to getting up that early and getting up that early consistently is putting my phone in a place that I can't access it when I'm in my bed. So for me, I put my phone here on my desk, so that forces me to get up from my bed and walk over here to my desk to pick it up and then, turn off the alarm. But another thing is, if I'm being particularly lazy and I left my phone with me in my bed when I went to sleep, then I will use what I like to call the 1-2-3 method. The 1-2-3 method is something that I use in all other parts of my life when I'm trying to do something that I generally don't want to do. So basically what you do is you count 1, 2, 3 in your head, and then from there you commit to doing whatever the action is. At first it's not going to really make a big difference, but once you start implementing this in every part of your life, you'll gradually get used to just simply doing whatever it is that you said you're going to do. So then, once I get out of my bed, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my bed. The importance of making your bed first thing in the morning is to, one, get one task out of the way. A person that I listen to very often that recommends making your bed first thing in the morning is Jocko Willink. He is a Navy SEAL, and he has a podcast called the Jocko Podcast. If you guys don't listen to it, I highly recommend it. But he says that you should make your bed first in the morning because, one, that gives you a task that you've already completed. That's already one victory for the day. So what I'll do is I'll make my bed, and then one, this deters me from getting back in my bed because I already made my bed. And from there, I will usually drink a good amount of water from this bottle right here to start rehydrating from all the fluids that I've lost during the night while sleeping. I usually wake up and I will take my supplements first thing in the morning along with drinking water. And the supplements that I take on a daily basis are just a multivitamin and this beet juice right here. The reason why I drink beet juice in the morning is because it is a NO2 supplement. Basically what NO2 does is it promotes circulation throughout your body, allowing for better blood flow, better recovery, better performance while I'm out on track, running and doing my workouts. Alright, from here, after taking my supplements and rehydrating and doing those things, I'll generally go get ready, put some clothes on, whatever it may be, just get a little freshened up for the day. And then from there, I'll usually dive into my computer. I like to use the app Notion to organize my day. I mainly use Notion to put down large events, tasks, and things like that. So we can dive into my computer and we can show you the whole process of why and how I use my Notion account. Alright, so now we're going to jump into my computer. I'm going to show you my routine and my setup on Notion and how I keep myself organized and how I keep myself productive throughout the day. Alright, so here we are in my Notion account. Basically, I have a system set up where I call this GTD system, or Got to Do system. It is actually called the Getting Things Done system by David Allen. He's a productivity consultant that created this system, but he's actually the creator of it. I just was blanking on his name at the time. So back to the video. What happens here is I go into my inbox or my brain dump, basically where I can write down absolutely any task that needs to get done, and then from there I can put it into a status and then a project area of my life depending on what it is. For example, I have next, which is basically just everything that I have, all my tasks, no matter what part of my life that it's for. Here we have school, personal business and finance, track, just any kind of fun thing that I'm, on the side that I'm trying to do. And then a roadmap is kind of like a calendar setup for all these different things. But here we can just go to next. Here you can see that I have bio exam, history final, all these kinds of things set up for all my school, and you can see the little tag there, it is school. But we have a few things else around here. All these things are based off of what I need to get done when, and then I have due dates for all of them. So Notion setup is really good for me because I can see all my different views on how I want to see them. I can isolate them, so I can just see the things that I have to do for track, just the things that I have to do for school, and so on and so forth. But I generally will just go to roadmap and then look at it from a bird's eye view, and then on that day I will write down whatever it is that I need to get done for that day. I'll generally go straight to this roadmap, and then from there I'll see whatever needs to get done on that day or within the next few days, and then I will schedule that into my weekly agenda and then write down whatever it is that I have to get done. Like today I will write down econ homework number 8, and then now I have that in my to-do list for the day, and I can access it on my phone, my laptop, my iPad, or any other device that I can sync up with Notion. So the importance of having a system like this, like with Notion, is to create what you want to call a second brain. A second brain is something that I learned during a TED Talk. I will link that in a card right here. But the importance of a second brain is mainly because as humans, we are really good at remembering information that we have stored into our deep memory, but we are not very good at remembering information that we are trying to hold on to for any short amount of period of time. Like for example, if I remember, hey, I need to go buy this lens for my camera or this camera light, whatever it might be, if I don't write that down right now, I'm likely going to forget it within the next 20 to 30 minutes. So the importance of a second brain is to free up RAM space like a computer for your brain. So basically, if you free up all this space for your brain, you can spend more time thinking about essential things and using your brain power to problem solve rather than remember a bunch of miscellaneous tasks. Secondly, a part of why it's important to build a system like this is to build a system, not goals. I learned this from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, a great book if you haven't read it. Basically what it talks about is how in the moment of adversity, we're likely to fall back to the effectiveness of our systems and not back to the loftiness of our goals. So what you should be doing is creating systems that will implement you to move forward every day, little by little, and eventually you will end up at the goal that you were striving for, thus not really having a goal in the first place. You should more so have a goal of to continually be doing what it is that you love to be doing rather than chasing after a goal, so to speak. Because the math is that if you get 1% better every day for a year, you are going to be 37 times better than you were when you first started. And that progress is going to be a lot more meaningful than you just chasing after a very lofty goal. Now, the next step in my morning routine is to try and get myself to enter a flow state. A flow state is what is interpreted as getting into the zone. There is another book that I highly recommend that you read. It is called Flow by, I'm not going to try and butcher that name, but he's a Russian scientist, I believe, that studied the interworkings of how humans enter the flow state. What a flow state essentially is when you are so focused on the present moment that time seems to fly by. When you enter a flow state, you will likely know it when you are either doing something you love to be doing, like for some people they enter flow states while they're running, while they are playing basketball, while they are writing, things like that. You enter almost like a state of creative bliss. And the importance of entering a flow state in work on a day-to-day basis is super important to me. So what I try to do, not saying that I'm perfect at it, but is I will try to set myself very clear boundaries as to what I'm going to do while I'm working. Entering a flow state usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes to fully enter a flow state, and any distraction that happens within those 10 to 15 minutes or during the flow state itself will take another 5 to 10 minutes to enter back into that flow state that you just got taken out of. So it's important to silence your phone or just essentially move any distractions out of your way. Put on some noise canceling headphones if you have them, and simply really start to dig into your work. Once you get into this flow state, you'll find it a lot easier to stay in work and focused on your work for very long periods of time. Usually at this point, I've worked about 3 or 4 hours from anywhere around 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 12 o'clock or so. And at this point, I'm thinking about what my first meal of the day is going to be. And the reason why I wait to eat my first meal of the day is because I do something called intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is where you give yourself an eating window of around 8 to 10 hours. So the other 16 hours of the day, you are fasting. And what this does is it puts your body into a metabolic state where you're burning a lot of fat, and you're going to be burning a lot of calories to maintain your body, and it makes it a lot easier to stay in a calorie deficit or eat more closely to your maintenance calories without overeating. So the reason I do this is that I can eat basically as much as I can make myself eat in that 8-hour window, and I'm really likely not to go very far over my maintenance calories. And along with this, I will usually eat something that is pretty high in protein, like 4 eggs and spinach, or some eggs and some oatmeal or something like that to get my day started. But I will not eat my first meal until around 11:30 or 12. And then my last meal of the day won't come until about, my last meal I will usually eat around 8 p.m. or so. And then after that, I might snack every once in a while, but it's not that big of a deal at that point. But yeah, so if you're really into either maintaining your weight or losing weight, I would highly recommend you look into intermittent fasting. It's something that is really, really beneficial for really any person, or even for an athlete who's trying to stay a little bit more lean like I am. As for track, it does matter a bit what your weight is, and it does affect how fast you feel, that's for sure. But from there, I will generally start getting ready to go to practice, or start getting my bag ready to go to the training room to get treatment or anything like that. But for the most part, that is what my routine looks like in the morning to get ready for track and to handle all my schoolwork and just to stay organized in general. So if you're interested in taking on this routine, give it a try and let me know how it works. But if you have any routines or anything that you find help you a lot in the morning, please comment them down below. And if you like this video and found it helpful, please like and subscribe. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.